Hey guys, what's up? Dan here with a new video. EATER versus Exarch, a really controversial topic in the PoE community. Which one is better? I decided to test things out a bit. 200 maps, 100 with the Searing Exarch and 100 with EATER of Worlds. We're gonna go for a harvest strategy to give EATER a fair shot. A lot of loot, a lot of fun, a lot of really nice stuff that I managed to get here, and also some big drops. But when it comes to EATER of Worlds, it's not that great, boys, as you're about to see here in a moment. This is the Atlas skill tree that I used to farm these 200 maps. We are fully spec'd into harvest. This is a low investment setup. And besides that, we have operative strong boxes, a heist, we have delirium, some really nice block nodes here. Fully spec'd into the increased effect of modifiers in our non-unique maps, and we're going for red altars for the first 100 maps, and for the final 100 maps I went with the EATER altars. This is the loot that we managed to get in the first 100 maps, the ones that I ran with the Searing Exarch. We have some really nice invitations, we have contracts, blueprints, of course, we have a life force, we have a lot of currencies from the altars. And this is the loot that we managed to get from the maps that I ran with EATER of Worlds, pretty much the same, but we have a bit more life force here and slightly different loot because the EATER of Worlds altars are not that good, guys, so we had to go for quantity. Because of that, we got a bit more life force, but as you're about to see from the numbers, it wasn't enough to compensate us for the really amazing loot that we're missing out by not running a Searing Exarch. Let's take a quick look at the numbers. This is the spreadsheet. We have 100 maps with Exarch and 100 with EATER. 14.5 divines from the currencies when we ran Exarch, 29 divines mostly coming from the life force, 12 divines from maps and invitations, and big drops we have replicas Dragon Fang, Sulfur 4 divine, and I also have a tier 1 rarity fractured helmet for around 1 divine. Our investment per map is at around 10 chaos, and our profit per map is at around 7.8 divines profit per hour, 8.5 with the lucky drops included. Without the Nico nodes and without the Nico campus, I was able to run these maps in 4.5 minutes. With the Nico nodes and with the Nico campus, would have probably been able to run them in 3.5-4 minutes. If we're gonna take a look at the loot from EATER, we have around 6 divines from currencies, quite a big difference, guys. 15 here and 7 here. As you guys can see, the Exarch altars are really good, guys. And besides that, we have 35 divines here, a bit more because we're getting more life force, and we also got lucky with the scarabs. We have 12 divines, pretty much the same from maps and invitations, and lucky drops. GG, guys. 24% fracture dot multi amulet, 25 divines right now. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to sell it, it's the end of the league. And besides that, we have a cluster jewel, 1 divine, and we have a voidborn key. Our investment is still 10 chaos per map, and if we're gonna take a look at our profit per hour, 7.5 divines profit per hour without the lucky drops included, and 11 with this GG drop. If we're gonna remove the GG drop, it's not that big of a difference when it comes to our profit with the lucky drops included. But still, as you guys can see, we are making less profit per hour while running EATER compared to running Exarch. And these numbers right here are not gonna tell you the full story. Let's take a quick look here. We have 300, 200, 300, right, from the scarabs. And if we're gonna take a look at the scarabs, we have 200, 50, and 50. So although we got a lot luckier with the loot that we were getting, with the scarabs that we were getting when we were running EATER altars, and although we got more life force, it still wasn't enough to net us more profit per hour compared to running Exarch. Grand Embers are 14 chaos. These right here, they're 5.5 chaos. We're getting a lot of them. Greater Embers are around 3 chaos, and you are getting a lot of them. A lot of nice loot that you're getting from the red guy altars. And the blue guy, he's fun and he's not as dangerous, but you're definitely not getting as much profit per hour when you're running EATER compared to when you're running Exarch. Now for this strategy, it's not gonna matter that much because we're mostly farming life force, so the difference is not gonna be that big when you're running this strategy or when you're going for the compasses to duplicate life force and guarantee a sacred grove each map. But for most other low investment farming strategies, you're probably gonna be making 1.5, maybe 2 divines less profit per hour. And I can pretty much assure you of this because I have tried to pre-farm some maps for the next farming strategy, and I had to stop the EATER run at 50 maps because I was making 3 divines profit per hour, guys. And it's really hard to be making 3 divines profit per hour in tier 16 maps with the current economy. So when you're getting lucky, you're pretty much making the same amount as you are making with Exarch when you're not getting lucky. And when you're getting unlucky with EATER, you're gonna make 1.5-2 divines less profit per hour, guys. So unless you really know what you're doing and you have tested these things out side by side with spreadsheets, or at least with PoE stack, but side by side, and you can vouch for your numbers, I would stay away from EATER altars. They're really good for high investment setups. Maybe if you're going for those quant altars and Crimson Temple, for low investment strategies and even medium investment strategies, they're not that good, the EATER altars. However, if you really enjoy running EATER altars, at least go for harvest, because you're gonna get a bit more life force. It's gonna be okay, but for this farming strategy, not in general. It's really important, not in general. Let's go run a map together. For the map showcase, we're gonna use a map with a really nice layout, chisels, scours, alchemies. You're gonna scour the bad modes, and you're probably gonna have to scour and alch these maps a bit more because you wanna get them to 25%, maybe 30% pack size. Harvest is a mechanic that's gonna benefit greatly from pack size and also from quantity. We're also gonna use 4 rusted scarabs because we are using this really nice keystone right here, which is gonna give us 20% pack size from using 4 rusted scarabs. Let's go run our map. We're gonna run a seeding Exarch influence because, as we've seen from the spreadsheet, this is gonna give us more profit per map and also more profit per hour. So let's see if we manage to spawn some altars. And something really important that I'm gonna have to show you after we run this map is how we can mitigate the downsides of the altars that have quantity. But first, let's run the map together. We have some nice silver coins here. We're gonna leave the harvest for the end of the map because first we wanna take a look at the altars and take the ones that are gonna give us quantity, but we didn't manage to spawn any in this map. Just a few extra packs here and we should be done. Okay, so let's go take down the map boss. Val summon skeleton is also possessed, but he should go down quite fast. Okay, and now let's go run our harvest. So you're always gonna leave the harvest for the end of the map. Really important to run a map with a nice layout. And once you're inside the Sacred Grove, let's see what we have here. So for those of you that aren't that familiar with the harvest, this is your tier 1 plant. They don't really give you that much life force. Tier 2 a little bit, and tier 3 is what you want to go for. This slight blue teal color. We have 1 tier 3 plant here and we have 2. We're gonna go for this crop right here, which is gonna give us 2 tier 3 plants. Now when it comes to the color of your life force, you wanna go for yellow. Yellow is the most expensive one, and this is how you're gonna be able to make a lot more profit per map and per hour by picking yellow. Now in this case we don't have yellow, we have 2 blue, so let's see, 6 and 1, 7 and 1, right? So we're gonna go for this one, 7 and 1, and we have to wait a little bit. Harvest is a mechanic that is gonna take quite a lot of time. You can probably push this farming strategy to around 10 divines profit per hour even with this low investment setup, but it's gonna require quite a overpower build, let's say, something like tornado shot, for example. In this case we have purple and blue. We have no tier 3 plants here, but we have 2 tier 3 plants right here, so we're gonna go for the blue crop because it has 2 tier 3 plants. We seem to have spawned a lot of crops in this Sacred Grove. Okay, so really nice stuff. We're getting here some life force, some skeletons. Let's take this primal life force and let's see what we have here. So as you can see, in this case we have no tier 3 plants. So if we don't have any tier 3 plants, we're gonna take a look at the tier 2s. We know that the yellow life force is a lot more expensive than the purple one, so we have no tier 3 here, no tier 3 here, but we have yellow, so we're gonna go for the yellow life force. Okay, and we're not gonna get that much life force in this crop, but it's still gonna be okay. And we have these annoying little monsters here that are gonna try to run away from us. And let's take a quick look at the final crop. So as you can see, this is also a situation in which you're not gonna go for the yellow crop because we have no tier 3 plants here, and although you're getting some life force from the tier 2 plants, it's not enough to justify not going for a guaranteed tier 3. If these two crops right here would both have a tier 3, we would have gone for the yellow one. We have only tier 2 here and we have a tier 3 here, so we're gonna go for the tier 3 crop. Okay, so your priorities are yellow, but before yellow you're gonna go for the tier 3 crops, and rarely you're also gonna get the tier 4 unique monsters in harvest. Let's take a quick look at the loot that we managed to get in this map. We have some nice vivid life force, primal, we have some wild crystallized life force, and we have a few other currencies here. We got quite unlucky with the loot from the altars. We also have a 6 link, not gonna be able to sell it this late in the league. But this is pretty much how you're gonna be able to run these maps for 1.5 minutes time spent on average. If you're gonna use the Nico Campus and if you're gonna spec into the Pact with Energy and mining my products nodes, or at least into the Pact with Energy nodes, you can probably find the 3 points here. We could maybe remove this node right here. Maybe we remove a little bit of the Delirium Chance. We also have an extra quantity node here. We can spec into the Pact with Energy nodes with 3 points, and we can use the Nico Campus, and we're gonna be a lot faster through these maps, and we're probably gonna be able to shave off, my guess would be 30 seconds per map. Something important that I need to mention before we end the video: if you're farming harvest, you wanna go for the altars that are gonna give you quantity. Harvest is a mechanic that's gonna scale from quantity and from pack size. So if you're gonna get those altars that are gonna reduce your resistances, this is pretty much how you can mitigate those downsides. If you're going for a Searing Exarch, you're gonna go for a Ruby Flask, fire resistance here, and an Amethyst Flask, Chaos resistance here. And if you're going for EATER of Worlds, you're gonna go with a Sapphire Flask for cold resistance and a Topaz Flask for lightning resistance. These, I would say, are mandatory if you wanna click on the quantity altars, because the penalties are quite high, minus 100 for chaos and the minus 100 fire resistance. So you're gonna need these flasks to mitigate those downsides. So 100 divines profit in these 200 maps, 100 with Exarch and 100 with EATER. As you've seen from the numbers, the Exarch is the better option. EATER has the potential to give you the same currency per map and per hour as Exarch, but you're gonna have to get lucky with altars, and it's not gonna happen every time, guys. Trust me, I had to stop the next farming strategy at 50 maps because Exarch was only giving me 3 defense profit per hour. Really bad, guys, really bad. It's not gonna matter that much if you plan on farming harvest. If you really enjoy EATER of Worlds, go for harvest or go for the high investment setups, but this video is meant for casual players, low to medium investment farming strategies. We're getting really close to the 1000 divines mark, 4 digits, boys. For the first time since I started playing PoE, I'm gonna be able to farm 1000 divines in a single league, and I have a really big surprise for you next week. Stop by the channel or check Reddit, you're gonna find out. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I hope this video helped you out a little bit. Don't forget to drop a like and a sub. Thank you for watching, good luck, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.